Hey guys, I'm your host, Nick Horowski, and welcome to the Bare Naked Health Podcast, episode number 19. As you can see, special episode today coming to you from the kitchen. And I'm going to be showing you how to make compound butter at home. And be sure to stick around at the end so you can see how you can save time and really give your brain another boost all in one step. Hey guys, time to get down to business now. We have everything right in front of us here that we need. But first of all, what is compound butter, right? Compound butter is simple. Take some butter, throw some herbs and spices in, mix it all up, and you're good to go. That's the simplest version of it. That's how I like to do it. That's easy for me because now I just have everything that I want ready to go. I can throw it on some veggies after, if I want to steam them up. I can put it on a burger, whatever I want to do. I could just use it to cook with too. So it just adds great flavors. But using some real good grass-fed butter, you can see here, nice and yellow, no colorings added to that. You're going to get tons of fat-soluble vitamins. You're going to get cholesterol. You're going to get the saturated fat. All of these, huge for brain health. Just fantastic. Take that with all the phytonutrients that you're getting in, the herbs and spices, everything you put in there. Wow, you got just powerhouse right here. Other things you can try. If you're not a fan of butter, you can do this with something like coconut oil too. Beware, the temperature fluctuations are going to throw off the coconut oil. So over in the corner of the kitchen here, we have some. Sometimes, depending on how warm it gets in the house, that'll start to melt. If you have that everything's going to settle to the bottom, all the herbs, the spices. You just have to mix it back up before you would use it. Or you could just keep it in the fridge, something like that. Just remember, it's going to be pretty firm then if you keep it in there. It's not going to be quite as soft. Now, what else? Pick your favorites. Right here, I'm going to start off. I'm going to just start running through all these things. But garlic, first thing I have down here. So use as much as you like. Beware, chop it up pretty darn fine because, as most people know, garlic can be pretty darn potent. But that's for a good reason because garlic has a ton of benefits. I mean, of course, there's all the ones that we've studied and that we know about, but just great immune boosting benefits. But I've even looked, I looked up some articles here, and garlic has even been shown to enhance memory and cognitive function. This is something, sure, I mean, I just enjoy some garlic, but not something that I would have thought about previously. So that's one thing. Hey, I'm okay with boosting a little memory, cognitive function, but I know the decreased inflammation, that is huge. And with that, you're going to have decreased chances. You're going to lower your risk for Parkinson's disease as well. So that's also been shown in the studies. Looking what else, but just powerful antioxidant. Any of that damage that's going to be happening, really combat those free radicals. Plus, let's not forget the flavor. There's a reason that many chefs just around the world use a ton of garlic and a ton of onions for that matter. I mean, something like scallions would be fantastic in here too. Just didn't happen to have any, and I wanted to go with some garlic instead. But I think that combination too would be a great one to toss into your butter. Now, after I've started to get this pretty sufficiently chopped up, all I'm going to do is put it right on into my garlic. My garlic right into my butter. Now, you can see I just have a glass container here. I have a lid for it as well that I can just put right over top of it. But I don't like to necessarily roll mine out. That's a very common way to do this in like wax or parchment paper or something like that. I like to be able to just, hey, scoop it right out, take a dollop, and I'm ready to go. So that's just my personal preference. Really, you can do it any way you want. But I like this because then after I'm done with the butter dish, I can throw some stuff in there and I can just soak up all that good butter too. Now, what do we have next? I just have really things that I've just went out back and picked out of my herb garden. Summertime right now as I'm doing this, and so there's a bunch of fresh herbs. That's what I like. I like the fresh herbs. Don't get me wrong. The dried herbs can be used and they are fantastic. But here you can see, like as I'm just pulling this apart, the rosemary smell. It gets me every time. I absolutely love it. And talking about the benefits of rosemary, holy antioxidant. Now this is one of those where really actually everything that I have here are such powerful antioxidants. And that's so awesome for that brain protection. Now, you don't want to obviously be consuming pro-oxidants normally, but oxidative damage happens. It just does. So, what do? We do our best to combat that a little bit. So, same thing here. I like to chop it up pretty fine. Now, one thing that I found out as I was researching rosemary a little bit that I thought was pretty interesting too, that back in ancient Greece, this used to be used by students to enhance their memory. So, I think if it worked for the Greeks, they've probably looked into it a fair amount, and I don't mind trying it myself. Not to mention, I find it delicious. So the rosemary, again, has also been shown to, as I said, very anti-inflammatory, fight free radicals, but helps protect the DNA. And that's one thing that's really good for fighting cancer. But I also looked, and there's a study that showed speed and accuracy under cognitive functions, mental functions, were also improved with rosemary. So just these things keep coming up more and more. Now the next one, went out and picked some of these sage leaves. Some are fully green already, some are still a little bit of a purple coloring. I like to get a little bit of everything. Some younger leaves, some older leaves. But as I've said before, another potent anti-inflammatory. Now, I think you're seeing a very common theme here, where everything, sorry, the smell is just incredible here. Again, you guys got to try this at home because it's just going to bring so much power to your brain and just so much health to it. The sage, so the Chinese have been using this for over 1,000 years, over 1,000 years plus, for dementia, to treat that. That's unbelievable. Now, not only that, we have the blood flow to the brain, but the brain interconnectivity. So it's helping those patterns be recognized in other parts of the brain. They're able to talk to each other that much better. That's signaling. All those synapses. You can't beat it. And this is just from throwing in a few extra herbs and spices into your butter, into something that you're going to be cooking with already. Now, next here, I have some Greek oregano. Again, another one, just each smell just better than the next, and each one is still so unique. So another powerful antioxidant. Hey, again, the Greeks used the rosemary. I'm sure they used a lot of oregano. They were pretty smart peoples, I think, and they still are. So we gotta follow that Mediterranean diet. A lot of times people will say. I think some of these herbs and spices might be part of that too, where you have a lot of that decrease in inflammation. So it's not necessarily all of the other foods, but just these herbs and spices that can be profoundly acting on the brain in such a beneficial way. So look at all this. I mean, the smell is just incredible. I know you guys can't quite smell it there, but you're going to have to try this for yourself to just see what it does for you. And everything just starts to fill up the room and come together as one. And that's where, hey, we can just say the stems, throw those in the compost. But everything's coming together here quite nicely. Now, next thing, I like to throw in a little bit of salt. I won't put in too much now because I still like to use a lot of salt when cooking. People say, salt? Like, how's that going to help your brain? Hey, the brain needs salt to function. I didn't say it needs sodium chloride. Talk about blood flow to the brain, helping regulate blood pressure. Celtic Sea Salt, if you look on their website, they have showing proof how this is actually helping regulate blood pressure. It's tough to see here, but this stuff is gray. It has a color to it. It's not just plain white. It's not refined. This is the good stuff we're talking about here. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of this in right now, but the full mineral spectrum on here, 80 plus minerals just right in here. It's the same makeup of our blood, the same mineral makeup. That's just incredible. And that's what we need in our body to help regulate the blood pressure, not just isolated minerals by themselves. I also have some pink, the Himalayan here. I like it, but I just wanted to use some of the Celtic today. So that's what I'm just trying. It's rather sticky, and that's why I'm trying to break it up a little bit here. But the minerals, again, you got to have those. They're going to regulate the blood pressure. Regulating the blood pressure to the brain, give it plenty to be flowing up there to really, again, help working on enhancing the memory, on just not letting the brain break down over time. Can't be having that. Finally, I have the pepper mill here. Inside, I have actually a wide array, black, red, white. I don't know if I have any pink peppercorns in here, but a little bit of everything. So you get different color profiles. But again, another one that has been shown to slow aging and even prevent it against Alzheimer's is peppercorns. Boosting cognitive function. So all good things. Now, this was pretty simple. I obviously this took me a bit longer. I was trying to talk to you guys, look just some of the things that I'd written down, looking over some of my notes, and this could have been done in a matter of what, 2-3 minutes probably. And to have those herbs and spices all cooked up, or I'm sorry, all mixed up, all ready to go for you. This way, when you're ready, you don't have to, every time you want to go and cook, you have to say, over to the spice rack, well, which one do I want to use? Maybe throw some of this in, or have to go out back like I do. And as you can see, this is just mixing like crazy now. It's so easy to put together. But as I was saying, like going out back, I don't have to go pick ones all the time, different herbs, different spices. I have them all together. And oh my goodness, this looks awesome and smells even better and tastes, I'm sure, even better. But that's what it's all about. Just making stuff simple, putting it together here, and then I have this brain treat all in one. Now, I'm going to certainly give this a taste in a second, but I think you guys saw a common theme here. We have great salt, fat-soluble vitamins, the saturated fat, the cholesterol, all these brain protective things, but then all of these potent antioxidants, the full mineral spectrum from the salts. This is just awesome stuff all in one place. And now all I have to do is, hey, I can take something out of the fridge, throw it on there, put a dollop of this on, and I'm ready to go. It's that simple. You can do this for yourself, for your family. Just make up a bunch of it so it's always ready. And then you're set. Now that's why it's a nice time saver. It's time saver, excuse me. You don't have to be trying to figure this out all the time. So I'm just trying to really get this work together well, because I want that. I want all of the herbs and spices spread out. I want fairly equal amount in each dollop that I put on. So again, I use the glass dish. You can roll out a piece of parchment paper, or I'm sorry, unfold it, roll it up, toss it in the fridge, slice off a little piece when you're ready to go. But hey, now it's your turn. So go over to Bare Naked Health Podcast. Check out the show notes here. If you have any questions, I'll put just a couple things that I had in here, the approximate amounts. Again, I kind of mess around with it based on my personal tastes, and that's what it's all about for you. So now it's your turn. Go out. Within the next 3 days, go and make yourself some compound butter. Get the herbs, get the spices, get ones that you like, because that's going to make it that much easier. But just add some color, add some variety, and then when you're ready, go ahead and give it a little taste. So I'm not going to have... Hey guys, sorry we got interrupted on the last one, but it was probably the greatest interruption I ever could have gotten. But I wanted to still show you how to finish this. Now, the reason that the show got interrupted there is because my phone started ringing with my pregnant wife calling, told me that her water had broke. So, as you saw me going to taste it, I had to cut out and run over to the hospital for a little bit of time. But still wanted to show you, hey, you can just dig right in. It still tastes delicious. Oh my God. Even by itself. Get that little bit of salt, some of the herbs, spices there. And when you want to use this, throw it on over in a frying pan, on the skillet, whatever it is. Throw it in even some soup, some sauces. Hey, there you go. Add a little bit of fat, all that flavor. Just another great way to try it. But really, I encourage, go out there, give this a try soon, and it's going to be so much easier. You're just always going to have a great fat. All those fat-soluble vitamins, great for brain health. All those herbs and spices really help lowering that inflammation, keep that brain working strong.